Hi, this is Paul Gregg, back with the Mathematics of Wealth, session number 5, Needs versus Wants, and Understanding Opportunity Costs. I think we have this will end up being 6 sessions, so we're almost done. Okay, needs versus wants. This is a sticky subject for a lot of people because one person feels like something's a need, another person feels like it's a want. And it's a hard thing to look at what you've been spending money on, and you should. I will let someone else teach you how to budget and how to. Usually, your bank or credit union or whoever you have money with, or an app. There's lots of apps where you can track what you're spending your money on. A lot of people just spend money, and it feels good to do it, and they don't know where the money's going. They know a lot of money's going somewhere, and it's a hard thing to do to discipline yourself to say, okay, I'm spending this, and realizing, oh my gosh, I spent that much on shopping for this last month, or this much on eating out, and hopefully you got the idea that those expenses spent today could be put to a better use, and that's the understanding of the opportunity cost. When you spend some money today on something, you haven't spent that money on something else. You haven't saved that money. You haven't invested it, and you haven't taken advantage of the time value of money. So this was finance@yahoo.com. I thought it was a pretty good list. Some things I don't know about, but this is 15 things you can stop wasting your money on. So, um, cable TV. Yeah, we stopped cable TV a long time ago. Um, you can stream just about anything now, and be selective about that, and save some money. Um, Bank fees. I don't know much about that. We have always banked at a credit union, but I guess that can add up. Extended warranties. Uh, yeah, when I buy something, I don't get an extended warranty. It seems like most things are going to hold together. If there's something wrong with it, there's a warranty for the first period of it. But roof over your head, less than 1/3 of your income. So I guess some people, they feel like some people are spending too much on renting or something. They want to be have a really nice place to live in right now, and they're willing to rent to do that, and they spend a lot of money on. Or you're even buying a house. You can overbuy a house that is bigger than your ability to pay. So the government recommends less than 1/3 of your income, your gross income, on housing. Unnecessary smartphone data. Yeah, there's you don't need unlimited data. Just you can. Well, you know more about that than I do probably, but you can limit those expenses. Online shipping. You know, most of our shipping is free with what we do, and so I guess you can end up spending a lot on that. Cheap art, I don't know anything about. 8, fast food. Yeah, fast food has gotten incredibly expensive. You go get some hamburgers and fries and drinks, and you end up spending over upwards of $25. And you think about that, you think how much and we've gone through a lot of exercises where if you just save that money instead of doing that, you could invest it and really change your life. And $1 at a time, it doesn't seem hurtful, and you get kind of a charge out of it. It's a lot of kind of fun, but you have to understand what you're giving up by doing that. Piecemeal insurance, I don't understand much about. Someone could tell you that, but I guess you can spend a lot more than you need on accidental death, diseases, and things like that. I don't know much about that. Lousy gifts, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes we just give gifts, and it costs money, and maybe we need to be more thoughtful about that. Weight loss traps, I don't know much about that, but I guess there's a lot of money to be spent in the promise of losing weight, and some scams probably going on there. Lottery tickets, I'll talk about that in a minute. Lottery tickets are an expense that mostly poor people buy, and the odds of winning are just so horrible. We'll talk about that more. Brand new cars. We talked about this in the previous chapter, and you can just lose a lot of money getting a brand new car. So a lot of these are, bells, shiny things that put in front of you, and a lot of people make a lot of money putting shiny things in front of young wage earners, people that have gotten jobs, and they say you can afford this because here's the monthly payment, and they don't talk about how much interest you're going to pay or how much the thing costs. And so discipline yourself to not be taken in by people that are trying to take your money. Subscriptions to magazines, health. I understand people have a hard time getting out of their gym membership. I think I heard someone say they moved and they tried to get out of their gym membership and they wouldn't let them out of their contract. They had to keep paying until they came in person. So they had to go back to where they used to live and to cancel their gym membership. So I don't know much about that. And we talked about the coffee, how much that can add up to if you choose to spend a lot of money on coffee every day. It doesn't seem like much, but in the long term, I think in one of the previous chapters we talked about how much that really represents in your lifetime. So my advice is don't take financial advice from someone if someone's aim is to sell you something. If someone's making money on you buying it, even your relatives and friends, cars, houses, student loans, a bank and a university is going to say, oh yeah, take out the student loan. Well, they're the ones benefiting from it in a way. The bank's benefiting because you have to pay them interest for so long. The university benefits because their enrollment goes up, and most universities would be responsible about this. But there's some that have gone out of business. They've decided these people are just giving away worthless degrees, and they've gone out of business. The government's put them out of business because they don't give you anything. They don't give you much that's worth the value. If someone's really trying to sell you stocks, even a relative or a friend, credit cards, be wary that if that person, if their source of income is getting you to buy their stuff, then just be careful. And even if it's a relative, and even if it's a friend, there's businesses based on success on getting your friends to buy things, and it seems like a disingenuous thing. And sometimes those things are what you need. I'm not saying it's all bad, but just be careful that you can afford it and know needs versus wants, and examine alternatives. Well, so here's I think CBS News says, here's the toughest sales pitches to withstand. And it's an interesting thing. Young people come out of high school and unaware. All I know is someone's paying a lot of attention to them and trying to get them to buy something. And it looks like a good deal because all the arguments they're making mean, oh yeah, this is a really good deal. I can get you into this car. You'll be cool. Everyone's going to like you because you're going to own this car. And they don't really focus on what you're committing to when you buy that. Timeshares, that's an interesting thing. Timeshares over my lifetime, you really need to think about whether you want to go on vacation to the same place every year. And everything costs an extra fee when you're in a timeshare. If you want to change dates, if you want to change places, and when there's businesses that have started up that will get rid of your timeshare for you. When you sign a timeshare, you're in a contract to pay for that timeshare. Whether you use it or not doesn't matter. You still have to pay, and you have to pay the rest of your life for that timeshare, whether you use it or not. And so there's businesses that have started up that will help you sell your timeshare at usually a great loss. But if you like to go to a place on vacation every year at the same time and it works out for you, then it can be a good deal. Life insurance, if you're self-employed, it's necessary. If you're in a company that gives you life insurance, yeah, you want your kids to be taken care of if you die, and insurance is a very important thing. But you can be oversold insurance, I guess. I don't know much about that. Home security systems. We had my wife went to a home show once, and she signed up for some kind of a free fire extinguisher or something. Well, a guy came to our house, and man, he was really aggressive. And we wanted to be polite, but he was really aggressive about selling us a fire system for our home. And oh my gosh, your TV could explode any time, and fires happen all the time, and they tell you all these things that are going to happen to you if you don't buy this system. And then he sprung the cost on us. It's like $900 for basically some spring-loaded bells with heat sensors on them. And the funny thing was, the person we bought the house from left a box of these things in the basement, and we hauled them out and said, "Oh, we've already got this system." And he was really dejected. But anyway, so be careful. And if you can buy this stuff a lot cheaper, then you should. Don't fall victim to salesmen who are really aggressive or really smart. And it's an easy thing to say, but sometimes it's hard to do. And you might even, when you do go to a timeshare pitch with the intention of never buying that timeshare, and see if you can withstand the pitch. Funerals. Oh my gosh. I was in a position twice, or 3 or 4 times, where I accompanied people to the funeral home, and I was shocked. There's 2 sides to a funeral home: what you're going to do for the funeral and how you're going to pay for it. And I went with this little old lady who didn't have any money. Her husband had died, and she had no money whatsoever. And of course, at first they go through, well, you want the nice casket or you want the cheap casket? Do you want the nice flowers or and they had all these, like a couple hours of deciding how nice you want to be for your funeral. And then how are you going to pay for it? This is all going to cost about $8,000. And she's had no idea. I don't know. Well, you can go next room and you can get a loan. And they had the loan papers faxed back and forth. And she came out of there, had a nice funeral, $8,000 in debt. And she had no way of paying that, except out of her $600 Social Security check every month. And of course they send bill collectors, and it's just, most of them are perfectly legitimate, and you need to plan for, if you're in that stage of life, plan for how this is going to be paid for. But funerals can be $8,000 to $15,000, and you're very vulnerable when you go in to do that. And maybe that's just my experience. I'm overreacting, because most funeral directors are really nice, and they really, they're in a business too, and but they're not like that. They're not taking advantage of people, most of them. But I saw a case where it was pretty amazing how they took advantage of her, I thought. Exterminators, and of course, your house is infested. You have to spend $300 a month to make sure of this. Now, and but there are alternatives to doing it yourself and stuff like that. And anyway, this is what CBS News says are the toughest sales pitches to withstand. Gym memberships. I don't know about this. I guess there's pressure to sign up, and it's hard to get out of. And that can be really good for you if you want to go to the gym and keep physically fit and stuff and looking good. Yeah, but to understand, with the money you spend on a gym membership could have been invested, and over your lifetime could have amounted to a lot of money. And maybe there's something, a sacrifice is where you give up something good for something better. And maybe you can sacrifice one thing for something better is what I'm saying. And they say a puppy's hard to resist, but you've got to think about the commitment. Think about the lifestyle of that puppy, the quality of life with that puppy. Is it going to be home all day alone? Is anyone going to take care of it after a while? Yeah, these things need to be thought out. If the salesperson's on a commission, they only get paid if you spend money. And I'm sure that most of them are honest to some extent, but there's it'd be tempting not to tell the whole truth about something you were selling to somebody. If you had to get paid, you only get paid if they spend money, and that's a harsh thing. But so be careful of that. Salespeople, the devious ones, want you to act impulsively. You got to do this today. The deal's not going to be here tonight. If you don't do this right now, that's a red light, a yellow light, and so, take time to think about it. Take time to go ask other people what the alternatives are. And take time to go to another company and see what, if you're not willing to spend the time to go research something and find out what the alternatives are, now, you're going to probably make some bad decisions over your life. So, just take time to do it. Lottery. I don't know if I have to spend too much time on this. Lottery money, there's the state has you buy lottery tickets, and I did some research. 14% of the lottery money is kept for administration of the program. The government keeps that for their people to run the program. 20% goes to public use, schools and stuff like that. Of course, when they advertise how great the lottery is, they say this goes to help schools. Well, only 20% of the money goes to help schools. 66% is paid to winners, but the winnings are taxed at like 43%, at the highest tax rate when you spend it. So the player may be keeping 32% even if you win. Of course, if it's millions of dollars, then it's a lot of money, and there's a lot of people want to take that chance. The odds are against you. There's a saying that goes around the engineers: tax is a lottery is a tax on people who are bad at math, and I think that's true. What are the odds of winning? This is Florida Museum, Medical College of Wisconsin. So this is the mega prize, and it's in millions of dollars, and it can be lots of millions of dollars. I couldn't, it's all over the place. It goes up if nobody wins and stuff like that. The odds of winning, 1 in 302 million. Basically, one person in the whole United States. The odds of being struck by lightning are much better than that, 1 in 14,600. The odds of being attacked by a shark are way better than winning the lottery, the mega lottery. And the odds of a woman giving birth to identical quadruplets is 1 in 700,000, way better than winning the lottery. You got to understand, you're very unusual to win a lottery. Now in Washington State, we have a state lottery. I don't know what this means, 6 balls. I guess it means you can get a jackpot and it costs you $1 for two plays. If you get 5 white balls, you get $1,000, and that's a 1 in 27,000 odds. And you can win $30, but it's a 1 in 516 odds. Basically, you're never going to win. And stop wasting money. So, what could you do with that money instead? I read by Bankrate, a survey said spending on lottery tickets adds up to about $1,000.38 each year per customer. That's not per person in the U.S., but if you play the lottery, the average person who plays the lottery, buys lottery tickets, spends $1,038. And these aren't rich people doing this. These are the poorest people who do this by and large. So they interviewed 2,300 people. So what if they invest? My question, what if you invested that money? So we all know how to use calculator now. There's a simple savings calculator. So annually, if I'm spending $1,037 on lottery tickets, what if I just save that money? And I saved it in the stock market at 10%, and I saved it for 40 years. So that's not unreasonable. If you're 20 now, by the time you're 60, how much is that worth? $1,000 a year. Instead of buying lottery tickets, I have $522,000 when I'm done. That's the time value of money. You just, instead of buying lottery tickets, you put it in a bank or in an investment firm every month, $1,000. And instead of playing the lottery and never winning or winning very little, the odds are, yeah, you could win a lot, but the odds are you're not going to win anything. Now, I did 10%. If we did just 7%, which would account for inflation, 219,000. Still, when you turn 60 years old, to get $219,000, and all you've done is not play lottery, but really in real money, it's $522,000. So you can use this calculator to save yourself. Okay, and that's a summary. If I just save that in the stock market for 40 years, I've had $522,000, and that's worth $22,000 of buying power. Remember, you only get to keep 32% of the lottery winnings. If you win $1 million once in your life, you'd only get $320,000, much less when you account for inflation. And you're not going to win anyway, so just quit playing the lottery. It's not a good use of your money. Yet Americans earning less than $30,000 admit to spending about 13% of their income on each year on lottery tickets. Poor Americans spend a greater proportion of their earnings on financial vices. In other words, there's financial vices and there's financial necessities, and then there's things that will grow. You know, put it in a house. Then it's worth more someday than it is now. Put it in a stock market account. Put it in a savings account. Put it in certificates of deposit, or lots of things you could do where your money grows. Once you spend money on a lottery ticket, the money's gone. Alcohol, tobacco, and gambling. Once you spend it, it's gone. And if you spend it early in your life, it's a bigger tragedy because of the time value of that money. This says Bankrate did this survey of 2,300 people, I think. If you make under $30,000, people are spending 13% of their income on lottery tickets. But if rich people making over 80,000, they don't buy lottery tickets. And I guess, they don't have as big of, maybe they don't care as much. A poor person thinks if I win the lottery, it's all great. You can win the lottery just by saving the money you're spending on the lottery. Over time, you can save it and have plenty of money. And the same with alcohol. Poor people spend more money on alcohol, tobacco, and gambling. Anyway, it's a tragedy that even people, anyway. So, opportunity cost we've talked about several times. And this is an example. If you receive $5,000, this is also from that nice website on Napkin Finance. Understanding the opportunity cost. So if you receive $5,000, okay, whether you earned it or someone gave it to you, whether you get it. Now there's you say, okay, I'm going to go on a vacation. I'm going to spend $5,000 on my vacation, okay, and you have a nice vacation. The next best option, what if I did something different with that money? And that's what opportunity cost is. What if I paid off a credit card balance at 15%? So now I saved $1,033 by paying off my credit card. And so the true cost of that vacation was $6,033, not $5,000 like you thought it was. And so that's just one example of when you spend money, you're not spending money somewhere else, and you're not saving that money. There's something. Anyway, and if you're, it's a good idea if this person has a high credit card and 15% to pay off that credit card before you do anything else. So that's the end of section 5, and the last section will be my summary advice. So that's it for today, and thanks for listening.